I'm one of the founders, together with Dirk, of Chrono24. We really like watches, but our true love is online marketplaces. Chrono24 is a marketplace for luxury watches, and should you ever come to Germany, you should be really careful with the pronunciation. A luxury watch in Germany means Luxusuhr, and I recently took a cab driver to the office, and the bill was billed on the company, and the guy said, so what's, the taxi driver said, what's Chrono24? And I said, yeah, it's a marketplace for Luxusuhren. This just works in German. And he said, so what do I find there? I said, yeah, you just find Luxusuhren starting at a couple €100, and it goes up to €1 million or even more euro. And he said, oh my God, that just can't be possible. I really have to look at that site. And 2 or 3 weeks later, I jumped on the same cab again, and this guy started laughing like hell. And he was like, oh, I went on your website, and I understood Luxushuren. So for the English speakers, the luxury watches and luxury prostitutes in Germany is just a flip of 2 letters, so you have to be really careful. And today, I just want to share three little things and stories. First, I want to tell you a little bit about Chrono24, who we are, and share some facts. Then I want to talk a little bit about the luxury industry and why we think luxury is an amazing, interesting industry today. And then I'll share a little bit about our experience taking Chrono24 from a classified business to a true online marketplace business. Looking at some facts, I don't want to bore you with too much information about Chrono24, so I put it all on one slide. We have been in business for 11 years now. We are a very global company. We have sellers on our website from 70 countries. Our transaction volume was 400 million euro last year. It'll be 550 million euro this year, so we're still growing at 35% per year, even being in the business for more than 10 years. We run 38 local domains, all Chrono24, so we're very independent from Google. We are a very mobile company. 45% of our traffic is mobile. We have 800,000 app installs, and it's a 5-star rated app, so we're pretty proud of that. And we support more than 20 languages on our website. That's just one number we're pretty proud of, and that's the growth of our traffic. So today, we have more than 7 million visits or sessions on our website. And as you see here, the global split is very balanced out. So people come from all over the globe to Chrono24 to buy and sell watches. Looking at the luxury industry, so the left chart looking back, luxury has seen an amazing growth in the past. This is the global spending in billion euros of consumer luxury goods. It excludes cars and real estate. And the interesting thing is, when you look in the future, within the next 15 years, another 600 million people are expected to be able to afford luxury. So we're in an industry where 600 million more people are coming into the game. So the economic outlook is really excellent. And the good news is that quite a majority of that luxury spending is spent on watches. And when you look at watches alone, today we see a global market volume of 50 billion euro. And why do we think that watches is an interesting category for marketplace? First, it is an expensive item, and it is very small, so it's easy to ship. I think there would be very few items that you would consider purchasing in Tokyo or in New York when you could save 10%. On a watch, you might consider do that, because it just takes 50 euro to ship it around the world. And another thing is that watches are the very same thing all around the world. So buying a Rolex Submariner is the same thing in Tokyo, Buenos Aires, or Tokyo. And something else is that watches are being traded first and second hand. So that makes it also a very, very interesting category for an online marketplace. So we decided, okay, this is probably the first, one of the best categories to go for when we decided to go into that business. Dirk and I are actually not the founders of Chrono24. We bought the company in 2010, and we thought taking over a classified business, meaning a business where the dealers just pay membership fees to put their ads on Chrono24. And then we said, okay, we just introduce a transaction-based pricing and we'll all be rich very soon. But after having a second look and discussing this with our dealers, we had some second thoughts. And then we made the decision, don't be greedy short term, let's be greedy in the long term. So we invested a lot of resources and time in, oops, I have forgotten to flip that here. We have invested a lot of time to build into infrastructure and grow the business. So within the last 4 years, we have 10-folded the number of visits. We grew from 340 dealers to 1,500 dealers, and revenue grew 10 times, and in all is still growing very rapidly. But now, since we have a very dominant global market position, we thought the time is right to turn the business model from a classified model to a transaction-based model. So in the past, you would contact the seller and ask, hey, I would buy a watch, and make the transaction directly with him, like many car classified sites or real estate classified sites. Now it's possible to actually make the purchase through Chrono24. And again, we made the decision, or had the discussion, who should pay for the service? Should the buyer pay for the service, or should the seller for the service? Economically, it doesn't really make a big difference. Like when you buy a real estate, for you it doesn't really make a difference whether you pay 1.1 million euro on a real estate or you pay 1.05 million euro on a real estate and 50,000 euro on the agent. But emotionally, it's a big, big difference. You just think, hey, this guy didn't really do anything, why should I pay him? So we try to find out what's one of the biggest concerns in these transactions. And the single most relevant concern from our buyers was we need more trust and more safety in the transactions. So we said, when you pay the money through Chrono24, we can give you that safety. We'll keep the money until the transaction is safe. So we decided, let's the buyer pay for the service. And we introduced the service 2 months ago. The buyers are paying the transaction fee. About 10% of our dealers are already participating. The numbers are very, very promising. The dealers that participate do 4 transactions per month, which is really excellent. And looking at rolling out globally, it'll be a really interesting business. That is my brief experience. This is how it works. The buyer pays 2%. It's also very cheap for the beginning. Yeah, thanks for your time. Thanks for listening. And Marco, thanks again for having us.